Have you ever looked at someone and thought, wow, like they must have it all together? The way they smile, the way they laugh, the way they post perfectly filtered moments on Instagram, and just the way they walk through life like nothing ever bothers them. But here's the truth. You never know what someone's going through. You never know what that smile is covering up. You never know if that joke is like a distraction from something they're afraid to say. If that silence is them barely holding it all together. There was a guy in one of my classes back then in school. Like, he was cracking jokes all the time. He was always surrounded by people. Most of the time, he seemed like the most confident and like the most carefree person in the room. People just naturally gravitated toward him because he was energetic, he was loud, he was funny. He was very kind to other people as well. And then one day I was just coming back from the bathroom and then I bumped into him, just the two of us that time. And I asked him how he was. And he just stared at me for a little bit and he said, honestly, like, not that great. And I had a brief conversation with him, and it turns out that he was going through a brutal time at home. Like, his mom was sick, his mental health was falling apart, but no one knew because no one asked. And that just kind of made me think, how many times or how many people do we walk past every day that are smiling, that are joking, that are performing, who are quietly fighting battles that we know nothing about? We live in a world where everything is kind of like made up. We always post our highs, but we never post our lows because we just automatically think that no one's going to be interested in it, and we don't want to seem like a depressed person. And just by looking at their highs, we just assume that we know their lives because we saw 10 seconds of it. But what about the parts that they don't show? Maybe the part where they cry in their car before going to work. The time people text you back that they're good, even though they're absolutely not. You never know. The person you're annoyed at, who was just a little bit late, might have just had a panic attack. The cashier who seems to be having a hard day or, seem cold, they might be grieving. That friend who keeps canceling all the plans might be going through something that they're too ashamed to even say out loud. And we're so quick to judge. We're so quick to assume. We say things like they're acting different or they're just being distant without really asking why. But people that you see, people that you walk past, all the strangers you see out there, they're not really robots. They're not ChatGPTs. They're not always going to be okay. And they shouldn't have to explain themselves to deserve a little compassion. So in that way, sometimes the strongest thing that someone can do for the other person is just to be kind. Or maybe just show up, even if they're quiet, even if they're off, even if they're not their usual self. I remember back in Kenya when I was in middle school, my family was going through something very difficult. It wasn't really like death related, but like financially, like dealing with people, relationships, and that really stressed me out. As a young guy, like I just wanted to have like a stable family, but I didn't because I was living with a missionary family in Kenya alone without my parents or without my family at the time. All I had to just do was assume. Like I didn't really bring it up to my family because I knew that they were already going through something stressful, so I didn't want to be a burden. And I couldn't talk about it. I was just kind of dealing with it alone, right? And whenever I would go to school, I wouldn't talk about it with my friends because that's just too personal. And I didn't want to bother other people. But I was having a hard time because I just wanted my mom to be happy. I just wanted my family to be happy. I thought that my family was the only one that was struggling because all the other people looked happy. They're probably not going through something that I'm going through, and I was just very like self-centered in that way. A lot of other people in my school were also going through family problems that they didn't talk about outside. I realized that later on, everyone is going through something, and all we can do that doesn't cost anything is just to be kind to one another. Because imagine you're having a bad day. Imagine you're having like this terrible day. You just don't want to do anything. You don't want to have any interaction. You just want to go home, stay in your room, stay in bed. But you're out there. You have to socialize, and someone's mean to you. You're having a bad day already, and someone's bullying you. Like that type of thing would push someone to the edge. And that's not even funny, But when I was going through something difficult and someone was kind to me, especially like this favorite teacher of mine, they were just cracking jokes, making me laugh, just having a good time. I appreciated that so much. They didn't have to. They didn't have to like make me laugh. They didn't have to do anything. But just by them being kind to me, that made my day. Sometimes it made my week. I could like forget about my own problem for a little bit just because someone made me happy in that way. And your kindness can actually make a big difference. It's contagious. It's like laughter. Happiness is contagious. When someone is happy, cheerful, very positive, energetic, it makes you kind of like similar as well. Like they give some of their energy to you, and now you're energetic too. So when you're kind to someone, someone will take that kindness and spread it. They'll be kind to someone else and make their day. And that just like goes. It's like a network effect, The more you have, the better. And it doesn't cost anything. It's not that hard as well. And it doesn't really mean that you have to go up to someone and try to make their day like forcefully. But it could just be like giving a compliment or showing your appreciation for someone, giving them respect. So before you judge someone's attitude or response time or silence, just kind of think again. Just ask yourself, what if they're going through something that I can't see? What if this isn't really about me? What if they needed kindness today? You don't have to understand every detail that they're going through. You don't have to fix their pain, but you can choose to be gentle. You can choose to be patient. You can choose to be kind. Not because people always deserve it, but because you never know what it might mean to them. The loudest people can be the loneliest. The ones who seem fine might be barely making it. And sometimes the person who's there for everyone has no one checking in on them. So check in. I remember this like UFC fighter. I don't know his name. I don't remember. But when that video was filmed, it was like a match day, right? He was in the octagon. He was having an interview. And he recently lost a friend. And I remember him saying things like, I would rather have you cry on my shoulder, right? Than to carry your coffin or something. I can't really put into words because luckily I haven't lost a very close friend of mine, but that is so true. Like I would rather listen to them than to find out something really bad happened to them so I can't reverse it. I can't do anything for them anymore. I would never want to be in that situation. You never know what someone's going through, but your kindness and your patience might be the one thing that gets them through the day. Thanks for watching the video. The weather's getting really hot everywhere you go, so make sure you hydrate yourself anywhere you go, okay? Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.